Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. In the midst of the children of Israel scattered to the four corners of the earth, there are those who are self appointed leaders and self appointed pastors, priests, reverends, etc. None of these men can prove that they are the sons of Aaron. They walk not in the ways of the Most High. They do not walk in his laws, nor do they teach them, nor uphold the standard that were given to us at Sinai in the days of old. Somehow we have held these men who know not Yah, who walk not in his ways, whose ways are contrary to the Most High's. These pastors and these self-appointed leaders who does not walk in the way that is right, somehow we have placed them somehow above us and we hold them in high regard. And this is not to be done. The title of this lesson is Light and Treacherous Persons, Traitors. Once again, the title of this lesson is Light and Treacherous Persons, Traitors. Brace yourselves, tighten up your jaws, do not turn to the left or to the right, or you will get hit in the mouth. We are to walk the straight and narrow way of the Most High's commandments. We are not to deviate to the right hand or to the left hand. We are to walk the straight and narrow way. And somehow we're following after men, listening to men and others that are not walking in the straight and narrow way. Their paths, plural, are all over the place. And we're to kind of identify these traitors for who they are. And this is part of the great separation, the great divide, by which we identify the enemies within. We must first clean house in house before we go out the house and deal with our enemies in the street. So let's do the in-house cleaning. We will start off at Ezekiel chapter 13. Ezekiel chapter 13, we're discussing these light and treacherous persons called pastors and politicians and athletes and academics and all of the people that looks like us that our enemies decide to put before us. These men are light, not to be taken seriously. They are unimportant. They are treacherous. They're guilty of betrayal, deception, and collusion with our enemies against us, though these men look like us, and in some cases they are part of us, our families, etc. Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 1 reads, And the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts. Hear ye the word of Yah. Thus saith Yah, Woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Anytime you see these false prophets, these men who walk not in the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, do not walk in Torah, tell you that some other God died for you someplace and went up in the sky in 3 days. They always saw something. The Lord spoke to them this morning, etc., etc. Most High didn't say nothing to you, but they're coming before you telling these lies, and you continue to sit in the congregation of the dead, egging on these fools. Verse 4, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. They're cunning, they're slick, they're deceptive. Verse 5, Ye have not gone up in the gaps, neither have made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of Yah. So these treacherous persons have not been able to stand in the gap. They can't be intercessors for the people, for the simple fact that these men are light, treacherous, and foul, walk not in the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. They're ravening wolves. They're fleecing you of your monies. Verse 6, They have seen vanity and lying divination, saying that Yah saith, or the Lord saith, Yah saith, and Yah hath not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. So they're lying to you. They're before you every Sunday morning, taking your monies, probably laying down with your wives and your daughters, and some of the disgusting ones that are full extreme are laying down with your sons, and they're causing you to confirm this word that is false. They're before you telling you what they've seen. The Most High is saying he has not sent these men. For had he sent them, his word would be in them. And that would be his law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. That man would be able to come before the children of Israel and point out their faults to them, show them their errors, that they may correct their ways and convert and be healed, meaning turn back from wickedness, turn back from darkness, turn back onto the light, turn back onto the law. But these treacherous men that come before you will not do this, because the Most High has not sent them. Verse 7, have ye not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken in lying divination? Whereas ye say, Yah saith, albeit I have not spoken. So the Most High is saying, these men come before you talking about God said this, and God woke me up this morning and told me that. And the Most High said he has not spoken to any of these men. And this should be clear unto you, for these men are standing in the house of idol worship, where the Most High has not placed his name in that building. And the Most High certainly does not have his altars, the one of burnt incense or the one of burnt sacrifice. He doesn't have any one of those in that building. He has not sanctified that building. So therefore, this man is teaching idolatry to you. He is a false prophet. He is a light and treacherous person. Verse 8, therefore, thus saith Yah, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I'm against you, saith Yah. So the Most High is against these pastors. And in some cases, the pastor is your daddy, the pastor is your uncle, and the pastor might be you, fleecing the people of their monies, talking about God has some son called JC that rose up in the third day and got killed for the whole earth. These are lies. If you go into the words of the Most High and his prophets, it will testify against them and testify against him. Him who? Him, that false prophet, that light and treacherous person. And the Most High said he's against them. That's why when they come before our people and tell these lies, when the Most High brings violence towards them and send evil after them, they cannot deliver themselves from the evil that the Most High sends against them. And the God that they serve can't deliver them from their troubles, because it is all falsehood. Verse 9, and my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and the divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people. Most High is going to kill him. He's going to remove them. Neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel. Neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yah. So all these pastors and preachers and all these other chumps out here lying to our people, fleecing them of their monies, in a line and in cahoots with their enemies, or betraying the people, or deceiving the people, they're not going to make it into the land. You're going to see them pine away and be killed and die in these nations for the lies that they have told to the children of Israel, causing them to walk in a way that is not right and causing them to serve idols. Gods of wood and stone that speak not, hear not, walk not, can't save you from nothing. Verse 8, because, even because they have seduced my people with lies, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Mortar holds bricks together. If you see a brick house, or you see that white lining between the bricks, it's known as mortar. That holds the bricks together. So therefore, the Most High is going to knock down these falsehoods of Christianity and all of these other man-made religions. The house of Israel, we were given laws. We were not given religion. So the Most High is going to expose all of these lies, that these bricks, this wall of untempered mortar that has been built over the years from all of these Christian nations that have murdered, slaughtered, and enslaved us, he's going to tear them down. And we're seeing them being torn down. We're going to discover the foundation of this wall. How was this lie? How were these lies? What is the inception of them? At what time did they come into play? And so therefore, the Most High is going to enlighten us, give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding by which we can go and trace through time as we come to remembrance to see where all of these lies began. And we will tear down this wall. Verse 8, say unto them which had daubed it, that is the Roman Catholic Church, Christian Church, and every man of Israel who have been a traitor and been in cahoots with his enemies, calling himself a pastor, a layman, a reverend, any of these things. These are men in bed with their enemies, light and treacherous persons, men who do not walk after the Most High's law. Say unto them that daub it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. Christianity will fall. All these Roman religions and any other religion that does not profess the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, they will fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and yea, O great hailstone shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it, shall tear it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherein ye have daubed it? So when this wall falls, all these Christian pastors and those of you who have been led astray by them, we're going to want to know clearly after this wall falls, what held this thing together? Where is the daubing wherein ye have daubed it? So we're going to kind of discover the lies and the foundation of this thing. And we're going to want to know when your trouble comes. Where's the God that you so profess? How come he's not coming to your rescue? How come you haven't been raptured up and taken up into the sky? That foolishness will not happen. Verse 13, therefore, thus saith Yah, I will even rend it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in mine anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. Most High is going to destroy it. How? The foundations thereof. We're going to go through the records, and we're going to show you where this thing is a lie, and it will be incumbent upon you to make a decision on which way you will walk. And we're going to show you that your pastor is a lie, is a liar, a light and treacherous person, and so is your political leaders, and so are these academics and everyone else that looks like us that our enemies shove in our faces. Verse 14, so will I break down the wall that ye have daubed with untempered mortar. This is the wall that you have made, the wall that you have propped up with lies, with deception, with betrayal, and bring it down to the ground. Christianity will be brought down to the ground, and all these other religions that our people walk after, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered. We're going to find out the inception of these things and the lies thereof. And it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof. That will be those who are teaching it, your pastors, your reverends, your laymen, your preachers, and whomever else, whatever they want to call themselves, and also those of you who continue to walk after this mischief. So let me reread that again. So that the foundation thereof shall be discovered, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof. You're going to be killed. You're going to be destroyed. And ye shall know that I am Yah. How are you going to know right before you get killed? You're going to understand clearly that whomever it is you serving will not come to your rescue. And so you're going to know before your dying day that you have served falsehood. Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall and upon them that have daubed it with untempered mortar. Those who continue to prop it up. Why do they continue to prop it up? Because it is profitable unto them. It deceives the people. It weakens them. Christianity does not strengthen the children of Israel. Our God and his ways strengthens us against our enemies. We have been serving the gods of our enemies, i.e. JC, and the words of all of that madness has not strengthened our people in any way, shape, and form. In fact, serving idols have done nothing but weaken and destroyed them. And will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that daubed it. So the wall will be no more, neither will those who have promulgated, those who have built it up, and those who have maintained it. They will not be either. They shall be destroyed. So the lies will be done away with. Those who perpetuate the lies will be removed as well. Those who continue to prop it up. In other words, This is all unrighteousness. So the unrighteous man and his unrighteous ways will be removed. Verse 16. To wit, the prophets, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, saith Yah. And so you have these light and treacherous persons called pastors and preachers. They come before the people speaking of peace, speaking of nonviolence, etc., etc. And there's violence all around. Speaking of peace, but there's absolutely no peace. Telling the children of Israel to be peaceful towards people who have not shown any peace towards them for as long as they have ever known. So they continue to stand before our people with falsehoods. And somehow our people fall for these lies, these tricks, these deceptions, and these betrayals. And what we're seeing before our eyes right now is that the pastor cannot, he's unable to step before the people. For the Most High is beginning to reveal the foundation of his lies and the lies all around us. So therefore, he is being removed bit by bit. Verse 17. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them. So we have the daughters of Zion who are out here trying to prophesy. You've got a few of them out here dressed all kind of out of line, speaking falsehoods to the people and calling themselves preachers and pastors. I will remind you, the priesthood are a priesthood of men. That promise was made unto Aaron and his sons, his seed. No woman can ever be priest. And I mean ever. It cannot be done. It is a covenant made of salt forever between Aaron and his sons, that his sons will always hold the priesthood. Aaron will always hold the priesthood. His sons will always hold the priesthood, not his daughters. Anyone cannot be the priest. You are the priest by birth, by bloodline, specifically the sons of Aaron. So any woman coming before you, whether she is of the house of Israel or not, talking about she's a preacher, she should be dismissed immediately and she should be checked. Verse 18, and say thus, saith Yah, woe to the woman that sew pillows to all armholes, and make her kerchiefs upon the head of every stature, to hunt souls. Will ye hunt the souls of my people? And will you save the souls alive that come unto you? Powerless, unable to save anyone that come unto you. And the ones that should not be destroyed, you're sending them down a path for them to be destroyed. In other words, light and treacherous persons. Once again, verse 19. And will you pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread, to slay the souls that should not die? In other words, the ones that should not die, you're causing them to walk in a way that will lead to their death, and to save the souls alive that should not live by your lying to my people that hear your lies. So you're lying to the people, and you're doing this for handfuls of barley and pieces of bread. In other words, you're doing this for financial gain. So therefore, the man of Israel that will come before you in righteousness, he's going to bring forth this word in truth and in righteousness. His reward is the blessings that the Most High will bestow upon him. His reward is the hedge that the Most High will place around him and his house to protect him. That is his reward. When they come before you and they've got PayPal and Cash App and everything else, these men are trying to get money out of you. They're doing this for financial gain. When we're all in this captivity together, we're forced to work for our enemies. So we're not going to go all unpunished. Even the righteous man still has to pay to some degree. So watch these men that's coming before you and these women, and they're doing it for pieces of bread and for barley. They're doing it for money. They've got this Cash App, send me some money here, send me some money there. All right, watch for them. And these men are telling you these lies. by which they're individuals that should die, homosexuals. Speaks to that in this book, Leviticus 20:13. It speaks that this is an abomination before the Most High, punishable by death, murder, and things of the like. There's no forgiveness for murder, period. But our people are telling these lies and having the man that's guilty of acts that's punishable by death telling him that no, you're not going to die. So therefore, what they have done, they have turned things upside down. They're telling the wicked man that, hey, look, uh, your wickedness is nothing wrong with this thing. There's nothing wrong with this thing. And it's taking the man that should not die and you're telling him, hey, look, you can do this wickedness, you're going to be all right. It's causing the man that's seeking to walk in righteousness, you're causing him to walk in wickedness. And the man that's currently walking in wickedness, you're encouraging his wickedness by letting him know, hey, look, this ain't so bad. This is not so bad at all. You can do this and do this a million times and turn to the Most High and pray and do it wrong 2 more million times and you're going to be forgiven. This is the kind of thing that these light and treacherous persons are doing, teaching, espousing. Verse 20. Wherefore, thus saith Yah, behold, I'm against your pillows, wherewith ye there have hunt the souls to make them fly, and I will tear them from your arms, and will let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. When you think of souls, we're thinking of persons. We're being hunted. We're being hunted by the preachers, by the pastors. Every now and then you may find yourself in a parking lot someplace, and somebody's going to come up to you and give you some pamphlet to come to this church and come to that church and encourage you to come to these places. You're being sought after by which to come and walk in a way that is not right. You're being sought after by which to come into the house of idol worship, a place that you're clearly instructed not to go into these eminent high places. Verse 21. Your curses also will I tear and deliver my people out of your hand, and they shall be no more in your hand to be hunted, and ye shall know that I am Yah. And so, what the pastor is experiencing now in America and many other places, you cannot come before the people because the Most High has discovered the foundation of your lies. And we are teaching the people, the righteous men are raising up, teaching the people that no one named JC has ever died for you, ever. And we're taking them back to the book of remembrance that they may be brought to remembrance of who they are, that they're to be reminded where they are and what has gotten us here and how we are to get out by turning back onto the laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. And because we are doing this, we are now figuring out that we have been hunted, we have been led astray, and the lies of the pastors and of the Christians and of the Romans, all of these lies are being uncovered and discovered. Because with lies ye have made the heart of the righteous sad. All of these lies making the hearts of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad. And you have strengthened the hands of the wicked. Let the wicked man know, hey, what you're doing ain't so bad. Homosexuality isn't so bad. You kill my son, I'm going to meet you in the back. I'm going to take some money and I'm going to hug your family before the cameras and I'm going to forgive you. These are the kind of lies and the wickedness that's been told to us that we are to forgive those who do us wrong. We're to forgive those who kill our sons and daughters. No, we are to enforce righteous judgment. Life for a life, righteous judgment. Once again, because with lies you have made the hearts of the righteous sad, you've weakened the hands of the righteous man, or have attempted to, whom I have not made sad. Most have not made these people sad, but you're making them sad with your lies. And you have strengthened the hands of the wicked. You have rewarded the wicked. The liar is being rewarded. The thief is being rewarded. The homosexual is being rewarded. And you've made the righteous man sad. When he speaks up against righteousness, everyone's attacking him because all of you are unrighteous. That he should not return from his wicked way by promising him life. Can you imagine that? these priests are standing before you telling you about some everlasting life. The Most High said the place that he has prepared before us is the land of Canaan here on the earth. And he will dwell in the midst of us forever when that third temple is built. He paraded us through the wilderness, killing these rebels, killing these traitors, killing the light and treacherous persons, that the righteous may enter into the land that he had prepared for us. Somehow you let these light and treacherous jokers called pastors, preachers, laymen, reverends, etc., and priests, you let these individuals tell you that somehow, instead of the place being prepared for the children of Israel, that's the land of Canaan on earth, somehow someone came out of nowhere and prepared a place for you in the sky. And there is no documentation of such madness anywhere in the book of remembrance. There is no prophet of the house of Israel or the Most High himself where he ever stated that he prepared a place for the children of Israel in the sky, or he prepared a place for the whole world in the sky. These are the falsehoods that's being presented to you, that's being taught to you by these light and treacherous persons. Verse 23, therefore ye shall see no more vanity, nor divine divinations. For I have delivered my people out of your hand, and ye shall know that I am Yah. So the Most High is going to deliver the children of Israel who seek after his face in righteousness and in truth. He is going to deliver those of you in that church that don't know any better, that think some white man died for you, when all your life you've seen white people killing you. And then you can ask your father, and he will tell you of the stories of him being terrorized by these Europeans. And then you can ask your grandfather, and he'll tell you. And ask your great grandfather if he's still alive, and he'll tell you. And if he can't tell you, you can go through the archives of all of these nations. Name them: France, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Italy. Go down the list of all of these European nations. They have murdered, slaughtered, and taken our substance and led us into captivity as slaves in many of these nations, and all of these nations, and have made laws against us. Every last one of them. And you're going to stand here before our people and tell them that XYZ died for their sins. You got a picture of a white man behind you. And though these people are grown people with PhDs, they sit there in a crowd and allow you to tell them that a white man died for them and went up in the heavens in 3 days. And when they die, they're going to join him up there too. And for as long as they've been alive, all they have seen is the injustice and the unrighteousness of Europeans against our own people. Not just here in America, but everywhere else. And some of our people are so blind and so deaf that they actually believe that foolishness. Not only that, they are foolish enough to let a man that looks like them come before them and tell them that madness. Whether you take that idol and you make him a white man, or you could take him and you can put all type of melanin on him, it is still falsehood. You could take Santa Claus and you could give him an afro and whatever else you want to do with him. It's falsehood. And when anyone come before us, these light and treacherous persons telling these lies, we're to check them. And that's what's happening in the earth right now. The light and treacherous man, his ability to maneuver is being restricted. And that's why these pastors can't come before our people anymore in cases of unrighteousness and stand up and tell them peace and go home and the Lord said this and turn the other cheek. We're not hearing these lies anymore. So therefore that pastor, the foundation of his lies are being discovered. Now, Zephaniah chapter 3. Light and treacherous persons. These men are in cahoots with our enemies, and we're going to root them out. We're going to start off with the pastor, and then we're going to deal with the politicians. Then we're going to deal with the police. That's part of the judicial system, which has been corrupt and unjust against us in all of these nations. And many of our people, being light and treacherous persons, are culpable and are in cahoots with these individuals. They're sitting at the table of their enemies. Let's deal with Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 3, and we're reading all of it. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in Yah. She drew not near to her strength. Our strength is the Most High. We are to draw near unto him. Verse 3. Her princes within her are roaring lions. These are the men in the midst of us. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the morrow. So the princes, the men in the midst of us, hustlers, treacherous, light individuals. The judges, the men that are supposed to be able to stand up and say, this is not right. The men that's in the position to punish. And the power of a man is this: the ability to provide, the ability to protect, and the ability to punish. You can't do those three things, you really ain't a man. You have to be willing to punish too. Many of our men have no intestinal fortitude by which to punish wrongdoing. They turn a blind eye to justice. They will not hand out righteous judgment. This is part of your weakness. So we see here where the men that's in position to judge, to make a distinction between the clean and the unclean, the holy and the profane, these men are evening wolves. They're roaring lions. Verse 4. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. These individuals calling themselves apostle this, prophet that, priest this and that. Light and treacherous persons. Light meaning they are unimportant, but yet you put them in a position of importance. They're treacherous, they're deceptive, and they're full of betrayal. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. They have no regard for it. Your pastor is not telling you about walking in the Most High's law, statute, judgments, and precepts. And the reason why he's not able to tell you that, because he ain't walking in them. Verse 5. The just Yah is in the midst thereof. The Most High has always been in the midst of his people. And if you let anyone tell you that somehow God made himself into two to came down to be in the midst of man, you're silly. And you need to go read the book of remembrance. He has always been in the midst of his people. There's a lesson on this channel that addresses that. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust know no shame. You've got men in the midst of Israel parading around with skirts. With skirts. Blatantly disregarding the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts. Walking in all manner of abominations. These men are light. These men are treacherous persons. These men will not walk in Torah. And somehow some of our people hold these men in high esteem. There's men who will turn a blind eye to injustice, and we hold these men in high esteem. There's men who are in high positions that will see all these manners of wickedness and will not condemn it and will not speak against it. And all of this is the fact that the unjust knows absolutely no shame. And that is why when we bring before these colonizers, we bring before these Europeans, and we tell them straight up, we can take them in the book and show them, well, all your Christianity is nothing but a bunch of lies. And he figures out that it is a lie. He doesn't care to turn from his ways because he is unjust and he has no shame. When you take a homosexual into this book and show him this is just disgusting behavior against the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, the fact that you can't procreate with this madness speaks to it, condemns it. He does not care. He has no shame. Verse 6, I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. So the nations are about to get the business. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instruction. The house of Israel don't want to receive instruction. They said there is no instruction, there is no law. This is what your enemies have presented to you, because your enemies does not walk in the way that is right. The laws were never given to him. So he doesn't understand what it means to be confined, to walk in a narrow space. Our enemies do what they want. That's why they can never hold true to any treaty. That's why we were instructed not to make any covenants with them, because they're not going to keep it anyway. Once again, I said, surely thou wilt fear me. This is verse 7. Thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwelling should not be cut off. Howsoever I punished them, but they rose early and corrupted all their doings. So those of us who did wrong, we were punished, but yet we continue to corrupt our way by doing the things that were not right. And when we do that, we're going to be punished every time. Verse 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yah, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. The nations. The nations are all the nations other than the house of Israel, other than the family of Israel. All the other families of the earth, the Most High is going to deal with them. We're seeing this happening today, and it's going to get worse. Verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yah to serve him with one consent. We're going to call upon the name of the Most High, one consent, because he's always had one name, too, to make that clear. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my supplicants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. So we have to notice what it says here, to bring the offering, not where you're at. The Most High only have but one house. When that third temple is built, it's going to be in the same place where the previous two were. And when you want to bring an offering, you bring it up there. You don't offer it in whatever land that you're in. One house that we go to, not 5 or 6 of them. From where I sit right now in my house, we probably got about 6 churches right where I sit that I can get to in about 2 minutes to 2 or 3 minutes. They're all over the place. All right, these are eminent high places where the heathen go, and some of our people go to worship an idol that cannot save. That we were instructed this thing should not be done. Verse 11. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of them that rejoice in thy pride. In the midst of thee, in the midst of thee, them that rejoice in thy pride. And thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. All of those who are boastful, prideful, that rejoice in their pride, Most High is going to remove those individuals out of the midst of us. Verse 12. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yah. You hear these politicians and individuals who have absolutely no sense speaking about eradicating the poor. I don't care what nation you're in, there will always be poor. There will always be a portion of that nation that will be poor. That's even in the house of Israel. Even when they were there, the poor was there when we were in the land, and there will be the poor there when we return back onto the land. But the poor will be all right if you do your job, okay, and you take care of the poor and you open your arms wide unto them, the poor will be just fine. So there is no such thing as eradicating the poor. Another lie told unto you by light and treacherous persons. Verse 12, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people. We've read this already. And they shall trust in the name of Yah. So the poor is going to trust in the name of the Most High. Verse 13, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity. Those that are allowed to return back into the land this final time, we're going to be purged out. Therefore, all of us that scattered in the midst of these nations right now, The purging process is in full effect. We're being killed off. We've been sent in these nations to pine away. We've been sent in these nations to correct ourselves. These are the open air prisons of the nations. This is where we were given an opportunity to reform ourselves. Reform yourself or die. That's it. Once again, verse 13, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Right now, everyone's making you afraid. In all of the nations, we're fearful of war. We're fearful when the police pull us over. We're fearful of our children when they go to school because one of these Christians might want to come into the school where our people are and shoot them up and kill them. Excuse me. So we're to be aware of all of this and what's happening to us as we know of some issues that just happened a few days ago where several of our people were killed and they're calling it a hate crime. This is unrighteousness. And they're calling the man that shot the place up a white supremacist. No, he's not. He's a Christian. Verse 14. Sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughters of Jerusalem. Yah hath taken away thy judgments. He has cast up thine enemy. The king of Israel, even Yah, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. The Most High is going to be in the midst of his people. He's always been in the midst of his people. That's why we were clearly instructed when we used the restroom, we had to cover it up because the Most High is in the midst of us. He dwells in the midst of us. Now, there's a problem going on in the cities worldwide where our people have been scattered. There's violence in the cities where we have been scattered. Homosexuality. There's murder. There's thieving, stealing, lying, cheating, the whole nine. When these things occur and our people do not point them out, we do not root them out, and we do not execute righteous judgment. You see a man murder another man, the police come and ask you, hey, what happened? You saw that murder over there. I didn't see anything. You know who the drug dealer is, but when the cops come and ask you, you don't know who it is. Some of you and your family, you have family members that sexually abused one of your children, or a child somewhere in there. No one prosecuted that man. He's sitting at a dinner table like everyone else laughing. You won't even take the word of the child. The whole family knows what this man did, and you're acting like you don't know. Everyone is turning a blind eye to righteousness. When we begin to do this, we know who the drug dealer is, won't give him up. We know who the child molester is, won't give him up. We know who the homosexual is, we tolerating him. We know who the liar is, ain't nobody saying nothing. When these things are happening, and we as a group do not punish it, then the Most High cannot be in the midst of us. And so, therefore, his spirit departs from the midst of us. And what you're going to have once he does that is nothing but wickedness and lawlessness. The Most High will not dwell in the midst of evildoers. Once we understand this concept, this thing is easy. But we are not to tolerate wickedness in the midst of us. Moreover, we are to punish it. And when we do that, then the Most High realizes, okay, I see you all moving in righteousness. Now I can move with you, or you can move with me, so to speak. We can't move with the Most High unless we're moving in righteousness. He's not hanging out with us. Look, I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do drugs. I'm not hanging out with you if you're smoking and drinking and doing drugs. I'm going a separate way. These are not things that I do. So if you deal drugs, you hanging out with drug dealers. If you lying, stealing, and cheating, if you're lying, stealing, and cheating, chances are the people that you hang with do that thing too. So the Most High cannot dwell in the midst of wickedness and unrighteousness, for he is neither one of those. So if we're going to dwell with him, And we're going to invite his spirit into our dwelling places, into our cities, to protect us and to shield us. We can't have that in the midst of us, because if we got that going on, most high spirit can't come in there. And that's where we suffer. So we are to identify evildoers, wrongdoers in the midst of us, and give them the business. Punish them. That include these light and treacherous individuals known as preachers, pastors, politicians, police, etc., and athletes too. So we are to understand these things. All right. Most High dwells in the midst of us. If we want him to be in the midst of us, we're going to have to get rid of everything in the midst of us that goes against his word. Verse 16, in that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thine hand be slack, thy hands be slack. Yah thy strength is in the midst of thee, or Yah thy strength in the midst of thee is mighty. He's always been in the midst of us. Always. I mean, this is something that if you read this book, you clearly would understand. In the midst of his people, not in the midst of everybody, in the midst of the children of Israel. And it's going to be confirmed that we are his people because his tabernacle will be in the midst of his people forever. So if you want to know who the people of God is in the latter days, you're going to know because his tabernacle is going to be in the midst of his people, not in the midst of all the peoples of the earth and not in the midst of everyone. His tabernacle will be in the midst of his people. That way there will be no misunderstanding of exactly who the children of Israel are. Verse 17 once again. Yah thy strength is in the midst of in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save, he will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. Verse 18, I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Those of us to where we can't go to the temple and give no sacrifice right now. Okay? And we are sorrowful because all of our holy days, we can't keep them like we want to because we're not in the land. But somehow, you let your enemies, as Monday is coming up, Monday, everyone has this, it's a federal holiday. It's a holiday. And the Most High never instructed us to keep anything called a holiday. His days are holy days. There is no such thing as a holiday in the midst of the Most High or his people. But yet, you will keep holidays and you think that that's the thing to do. We have to understand these things. When these light and treacherous persons bring these lies before us, we are to discover the foundation of these lies. And the only way that's going to be done, you must arm yourself. How will you do that? Simply reading. You must educate yourself. You must go into this book and read it that you may understand it. That way, when the falsehoods are brought before you, you know what the truth is. And then you may be able to share that truth with the individual that brought you that lie, and maybe they are clever enough to turn back from their wicked way and walk in the way that is right. Verse 19, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, all these nations, the French, the Dutch, the British, the Spaniard, the Italian, the rest of them. You know them, the European powers, the Christian powers, the people that know not Yah. Okay? Most High said he's going to afflict all of them that afflict us. And I will save her that halteth. Who was her that halteth? That's Jerusalem. That's the whole house of Israel. And gather her that was driven out. We were driven out. The children of Israel driven out into all the nations, to the four corners of the earth. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. We have been put to shame in America. We've been put to shame in Africa. We've been put to shame in Central, South, and Latin America and the Caribbean. We've been put to shame in all the places of the earth. They've made laws against us. They speak about us at their table. They sit in their beds, contemplate mischief towards our people. They have done violence towards our people. They have done violence towards the Most High's law. They have done violence towards the Most High's people. So the Most High is saying He will undo all that afflict us, all the things that afflict us. He's going to undo it. I'm going to save you, O Israel. I shall save her that halteth. That's the children of Israel. And gather her that was driven out. That's the children of Israel. And I will get them praise and fame. That's the children of Israel. In every land where they have been put to shame. In all the lands that He had sent us to, we're going to be uh, we're going to be given praise. Who's going to get this praise? The man that will stand up and teach righteousness, the man that will walk in righteousness, the man that will punish unrighteousness. So we know for sure in these many lands, before we get out of these lands, we know clearly that the Most High is going to get us praise. He's going to get us fame. He's going to get us honor in these lands for standing up, doing that which is right, teaching that which is right, and not doing it for financial gain. Verse 20. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. Who is He going to gather? The children of Israel that He has scattered. JC didn't scatter you. He can't get you from no place. In fact, he is falsehood. For I'll make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth. The children of Israel that's walking in righteousness, that will stand up in righteousness and in truth, that will espouse the Most High's laws, statutes, judgments, and precepts. The Most High says clearly, I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yah. So all that we're doing right now, the Most High is going to reverse it. So we've got some good things to look forward to should we continue to walk in the law. So that is Zephaniah chapter 3, that we know clearly what our future is, of how things are going to be turned around, and we're to watch these light and treacherous persons, for they will lead you astray, and in following these light and treacherous persons, you become cut off. You weren't supposed to die. You sought righteousness, came across a fox, came across a wolf in sheep's clothing. He deceived you, for he is a light and treacherous person. Now he's got you going down the way that's going to get you killed. You didn't seek to be killed. You sought some righteousness. But then you came across a hustler. You came across a man that know not Yah. You came across a man that's a light and treacherous person. Now he's got you going down a way that's of certain death. That's why it's imperative that you get in this book, that you may be able to identify and make a clear distinction in which way is right and who the light and treacherous persons are. Now, we're going to go to Zechariah. We're going to go to Zechariah chapter 10. Zechariah chapter 10. Once again, we're dealing with these light, treacherous persons. And we've got a bunch of them in our midst, and we got to root them out. And once we root out the light and treacherous man that's in the midst of us, then all of a sudden, the Most High is going to pour out His Spirit upon us even more and strengthen us against our enemies. And so, therefore, when we clear out all the light and treacherous individuals from the midst of us, now we're moving as a nation, as a righteous nation, and now we go against these other nations in the street. So we've got to deal with the traitor within, and once we get him out of there, then now we can go deal with that enemy without, or we can go deal with him. But when we deal with him, we're going to deal with him as a collective, as one nation, moving in righteousness, and the Most High is before us. And if the Most High is before us, we can't lose. We should know this. All right. Zechariah chapter 10, and certainly we will read all of it. Ask ye of Yah rain in the time of the latter rain. So Yah shall make bright clouds and give them showers of rain to every one grass in the field. For the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain. Therefore, they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd. Yeah, house of Israel. Idols have spoken vanity. JC, the words of JC that I told you about, he's an idol. speaking lies throughout all the nations. They comfort you in vain. Tell you, yeah, we just killed one of your sons in the street. Pastor come out there, light and treacherous persons, tell you some lies. The politician come out there, tell you some lies. The police chief, who may look like you, come out there, tell you some more lies, telling you lies to comfort you. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, another one of your sons get killed. You understand? That's how this has been. This is how this is going on. Speaking vanities. All right. Speaking of these lies, I have a dream. I want them to see your kids and my kids holding hands. They had no such dream. Most High never told the children of Israel that there's some vision of the children of Israel holding hands with other nations. Never. So we have to start understanding all of these things. Some of these men meant well and did the best that they could, but they were walking in idolatry, encouraging the children of Israel to do the same, unbeknownst to them, because it wasn't their time to know. The time was not right for them just yet. Okay? There was no shepherd. There's no man that's standing up in the gap teaching in righteousness. All right, so therefore the flock went astray. Verse 3, mine anger was kindled against the shepherds, that's the leaders, and I punished the goats. For Yahweh have visited his flock, the house of Judah, and has made them his goodly horse in the battle. Out of him came forth the corner, out of him the nail, out of him the battle bow, out of him every oppressor together. And they shall be as mighty men, which treadeth down their enemies in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they shall fight, because Yah is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. Our people need to understand we went into these captivities by means of war. We are enemy combatants. We are the spoils of war in these many nations. They didn't ask us to come here. We got killed and subjected to their cruelty, to their laws, and thus we were scattered. So let every man of Israel's heart be strong. Let you know clearly, we're not going to talk our way out of this. Israel is the Most High's battle axe. That's a weapon of war. So do understand, at some point, we're fighting these people. We're going to be fighting our enemies. Be prepared for that. But when we're fighting them, we're strengthened by the Most High when we're doing this. Right now, spirits are so weak, you're serving all of these idols. You can't be strengthened by your idols. But this Torah will strengthen you, for you are turning back onto your God, onto your strength, onto your ways of old. Then you will be strengthened and you will be, dare I say it, empowered. Meanwhile, your enemies is teaching you something that simply has, will, and will continue to weaken you. Do you think the man that's enslaved you, made laws against you, scattered you all across the earth, stealing your substance now, have stole your substance in times past, have made laws against you, and can't stand you, or your children, or your father, or your grandfather? Your enemies have no regard for your 99-year-old and has no regard for your 1-year-old. No sympathy, no empathy. Do you think those people are going to give you something willingly here that you may supersede them, that you may rise above them, that you may rule above them? These people are not that silly. I think we underestimate the intelligence of our enemies. I think we underestimate that. So don't think for 1 second anything will be given to you by your enemies that will be a weapon against them or that will be beneficial to you against them. But when we go in this Torah, this galvanizes our people. This is the one umbrella which we can all come under as the children of Israel. And this is also the only umbrella by which we will have any peace with those who are not of our people. when they come under this umbrella also. This is the only time when there will be peace. Because keep in mind, and I want you to remember, the Most High made it plain that His law grants peace. So therefore, no man can come before you talking about peace, and he ain't talking about this law. So you understand that. All right. So we're going to be doing some fighting. We fought in the days of old. In order for the house of Israel to have peace, keep in mind the purpose of Governor David. Governor David was a man of war, straight head buster, straight banger. His purpose was to subdue the nations, that Solomon his son may have peace, by which to erect that temple that David sought to build. David couldn't build that because he'd been busting heads all his life, blood on his hands. Moses said, hey, I didn't raise you to do this. I raised you to bust heads. That's your whole purpose. You've got blood on your hands. You can't do this. But since you sought to do this and you had this in your heart, continue to bust heads, subdue these nations, and I will have you do this next generation. You'll build me this temple. I have you build it to me next generation. I have your son build it. Because Solomon is David. It's David in the next generation. It's still him. So yeah, you can't do it this time. I have you do it next time. I'm gonna make sure you do it. Your son's gonna do it for me. So I'm gonna cause you to subdue these nations. So we right now are being subdued by the nations. How? They busting our heads. So how do you think we're gonna subdue these nations? We're gonna bust their heads just like David did. So stand by for it. And any man speaking to you about some kind of cowardice, about we don't have to fight and turn the other cheek and all of that, snatch him up and take him in a corner and talk some sense into him. All right. Verse 6. And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph. All right. Judah's he's speaking to the southern kingdom, and the house of Joseph is in the northern kingdom. The house of Ephraim, same thing. Okay? So he's speaking to Israel and Judah, or the south and the north. And I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. For I am Yah, their strength, and will hear them. Right now, the Most High can't hear you because you're walking in wickedness. You're walking in wickedness, and if you're not wholeheartedly steeped in wickedness, you know somebody that's steeped in wickedness, and you ain't telling him about it. You ain't correcting him, and you're not punishing him when it's within your ability to do so. So if you're going to turn your eyes away from doing that which is right, if you're going to turn away from seeing something that's foul and you're not going to correct it, you're guilty. And so the Most High made it plain that he will turn against that man and his house. So when we get an understanding of that, then we begin not to tolerate any form of wickedness. Because I know if I tolerate this thing, man, I'm gonna get the business. Just for turning a blind eye to it, I'm gonna have to pay some kind of penalty. And I don't want to pay that. So I got to deal with you. And I know good and well if I don't deal with you, then that wickedness spreads. So we got to correct you. And if we don't correct you, then the Most High can't be in the midst of us by which to protect us against our enemies. So we got to deal with you. All right. Verse 7. Let me read a very important part of this, okay? Uh, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. In other words, we're going to be multiplied exceedingly, and we're going to return back to the days of old. So you understand that, and and no, we won't be in the sky someplace. We'll be right here on the earth. Verse 7. And they of Ephraim, or the northern kingdom, shall be like a mighty man, and their hearts shall rejoice as through wine. You know, when a man drinks wine, I guess you get happy when you drink wine, I guess, because I don't drink wine, so I don't know. Yea, their children shall see it and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in Yah. So we're going to bear witness to all of these promises that's been promised to us way back in the day of old. We're going to see this thing. The Most High did say Israel is his witness. A witness sees. So we're going to see all this. Verse 8, I will hiss for them and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. You hear people talking this nonsense about 144,000. New Testament nonsense. Man, we had 144,000 people in one tribe alone. So people thinking, oh, we're going to be a gathering of 144,000. Man, get out of here with that nonsense. We're going to be increased, exceedingly so. So you know that. And we're going to be redeemed. The hissing. Look at what's going on in the earth today as our people rise up against the corrupt individuals in these nations, the corrupt pastors, the corrupt politicians, the corrupt police, the corrupt athlete, all these light, the corrupt academics, the light and treacherous persons that they have put before us that looks like us. We're rising up against those individuals. We're rooting out the enemies within. So if you're an enemy unto the house of Israel and you're laying down with our enemies, these Europeans, you got something coming to you. You might want to change your ways. Don't sit at the table of the unrighteous, for if you dine with the unrighteous, you yourself, you are deemed unrighteous. A righteous man does not sit at a table with the unrighteous. Just so we understand this. So this hissing that we're seeing right now throughout the earth, could it be that the Most High is galvanizing and causing his people to wake up? This valley of dry bones, waking up. This whole house of Israel coming out of this dust, out of the ground, out of this dark state of consciousness, returning onto the law, which is the light. And in doing so, once you can see, if you've been moving around in a dark room forever and someone turn on the light, if you see any mess now, oh, I can see some mess. First thing you're going to do, you're going to start cleaning it up. And that's what's happening with our people. We're beginning to identify who the corruptors are, who the light and treacherous persons are in the midst of us. We're tired of seeing the injustice and the unrighteousness. And though some of our people may not quite understand this Torah, some may have never read it, may not even understand it, they're seeking for some form of equity. They can clearly see where things are wrong. And in seeking after something that's right, the only thing that's right, the only thing that's righteous, the only thing that's just is the Most High. So when you seek after something that's right, you seek after equity, you seek after justice, you're going to find this law. Because all of these things encompass and represents the Most High Yah. So if you're seeking for righteousness, you seeking for justice, you looking for God. That's the direct and clear-cut way for me to explain that to you. All right. So we understand clearly that there's this hissing as the Most High is going to redeem us. I will sow them among the people, and they shall remember me in far countries. And they shall live with their children and turn again. Turn again to what? Turn again to this law. So we're in the midst and we're among these people. And the Most High said, we're going to remember him in these far countries. America, Niger, Barbados, Venezuela, Netherlands, if we got some of our people over there. Wherever we are dwelling in these nations, we are going to remember the Most High. Well, how is that possible? How do you take a man that has lost his memory, that has suffered amnesia, and then somebody else, hey, you don't know nothing, he doesn't know who he is. Then some other people came and taught him and lied to him, telling him he's somebody else. How does that person who has amnesia and has been told a totally different story and been lied to, how does he find out what the truth is? How does a man with amnesia know who he really is? He has to be taught of himself from the past. And how is that done? He has to go in the book of remembrance that he may remember. The book of remembrance is a time capsule for the children of Israel, not for everybody, for the children of Israel. And then once we get a hold of our records and we clearly understand what's going on and what needs to be done, then we take our rightful place and we take our records, we take the Most High's law, statutes, judgments, and precepts, and then we can take it and teach it to these nations. And now I can show you where your book, the book that your people have written, these are lies. And I can back it up clearly by going out of thus saith Yah. Because the Most High never spoke to none of these heathens, these heathenistic nations. Never. The house has been scattered. The house of Israel has been scattered into captivity. We didn't know our names, our heritage, our language. These European nations had to take this book and translate it into a language that they speak because it's never been their book. It's never been their language. They have never been given the laws of Yah. That's why they operate with such lawlessness. They don't know what law is. But the children of Israel, it's our job to teach them and all the other nations of the earth. And when you hear me say nations and heathens, some of these heathenistic nations are quote unquote black people. So you understand that. So this is not just, okay, it was all the white people that did all the foul to us. Oh, there's some people that look like us did us foul too, that are separate nations from us. But right now, we're not going to act like we don't know who the elephant is in the room. And many of our men are cowards. They don't want to point out who's beating them over the head. And we're going to go ahead and make that clear. We'll be able to stand up before the nations, stand up before our enemies, and say, yeah, we see what you're doing, and we're not going to go for it. And many of our men don't have that type of intestinal fortitude. So get ready for the battle. It's coming. We're going to have to fight our enemies. And like I've said in times past, you can't go fight your enemies if half the men that's fighting with you laying down with your enemies. And you can't go fight your enemies if half the men that's fighting with you going to get on his knees and pray to the image of your enemies. You can't do that. So therefore, we know good and well men who are doing these things in the midst of us will be of no good to us. Now, just think of how many men in the midst of us that are doing this. There will be no good to us as we go up against our enemies. If you're going to get on your knees and pray to the image of our enemies, and then you're going to go lay down with the daughter of our enemies, you are an enemy unto us. We're going to figure that out. And there's a bunch of men that's in the midst of us that's doing this. These are light and treacherous persons also. All right, let's get back to where we were. Verse 8. I will hiss. We've already read the I will hiss. Let's go to verse 9. I will sow. We've read that also. Verse 10. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. And I will bring, one second, I've got to go to my phone to get the rest of this verse because in my book it's torn out. All right. Verse 10. And I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. And I will bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon. And place shall be not found of them. In other words, it's not going to be a place found where you're not going to find these Israelites. They're going to be in that great a number. They're going to be everywhere. And he shall pass through the sea with affliction, and shall smite the waves in the sea, and all the depths of the rivers shall dry up. And the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in Yah, and they shall walk up and down in his name, saith Yah. So, walking up and down in his name. We're going to profess the Most High Yah. We're going to walk in his ways, his statutes, judgments, and precepts. And anyone that's not doing that, we're not going to rock with them, and we're going to punish them. So We are to understand clearly that we've got some light and treacherous people in the midst of us, traitors and cowards. And in some cases, we've got a combination of both. So we're not going to tolerate these men. We're going to put their feet through the fire. And that's what's happening right now. And anyone try to side with them, they get the business too. As we start raising up in righteousness, if you want to side with the unrighteous man, then we got to get you too. Just so you understand. Let's go ahead and read. Let's finish up with Isaiah chapter 29, verse 10. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 10, and it reads, For Yah hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. So these light and treacherous persons you call pastors and preachers and reverends, the Most High has poured out a deep sleep on this man. He don't know where up is and where down is. He don't know his left side from his right side. He is blind. In other words, he's dumb. And if a blind man is going to lead you someplace, chances are it's not going to be good because he doesn't know where he's going. He's in a world or a state of darkness. Darkness is nothing but lack of light. To operate in darkness is to operate in sin. To operate in light is to operate in the Most High's law, statutes, judgment, and precepts. So we're to understand clearly these light and treacherous persons. The Most High is saying plainly, I done covered them. So there's no man coming out before you talking about I done seen this and I had this vision. No, the vision the Most High took away the vision from the prophets. You didn't listen to the prophets of old. What you need new prophets for? Nothing has changed. The Most High made it plain to the children of Israel, I change not. He didn't say that to everybody. He told the children of Israel specifically. He told us, hey, look, I don't change. Ain't no changes to me. The same law that I gave you in the beginning is the same law you're going to have forever. And as long as you don't follow those laws, I'm going to keep punishing you for it. Simple. So it doesn't matter what time I decide to pour my spirit out upon you to wake you up. When you go into the book, it's going to be the same rules and laws you had from the days of old. So nothing changes. So we're to understand clearly that these prophets and these rulers, your politicians and your preachers, the Most High done covered them up, poured out a deep sleep upon them, and poured out a deep sleep upon the children of Israel. And so the ones that he's going to wake up first are going to be the teachers. And the teachers are going to wake up those who are seeking righteousness and truth. And this is how this all works. So that concludes this lesson. Light and treacherous persons. Your politician, he's light and treacherous, will do you absolutely no good, does not walk in the way of Yah. The laws of these many nations were made against the children of Israel. I don't care where you find the daughters of Zion or the children of Israel. You can go in Argentina, Venezuela, Brazil, Guyana, Ecuador, Peru, Honduras, America. I don't care where you go, Cuba, Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, wherever you go, and you can find our people. The laws were not made by them. They don't run nothing in there. Their enemies rule over them. Whether they're ruling over them right there immediately in that land or they're ruling over them via proxy. They have someone that looks like us standing in the leadership role, but he answers to the European powers. Once again, they know not the Most High. They walk not in his ways. And the people that are ruling are also very much similar to their oppressors. They pity the people not. They have no care for them. And they will do what they can for financial gain because they have no responsibility to their own people. So what we have to do is we must teach the people what we want them to learn and know. We must stand up in this law and teach Torah, that our people must understand what is right and have the willingness and the intestinal fortitude that they may be strengthened to punish wrongdoing. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Watch these politicians, they're light and treacherous. Watch these pastors, they're light and treacherous. And in some cases, that's your daddy. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. The biggest hustle going on right now in the house of Israel is this pastor getting all this money off people, and people putting this man in some high esteem, holding him in high regard. How dare you hold a man that does not walk in the most highest law, statute, judgments, precepts in high regard? How do you do that? How do you let a man stand before you telling you that someone died for your sins, and these same individuals are the ones that murdered and slaughtered you and killing you every day before your face? And somehow he's telling you that someone that looks like these people here just died for you, and you're going to go live in heaven and all of this. You have to be dumb to believe any of that. And you should seek into this book that you may understand that these light and treacherous individuals, though they may be your daddy or your uncle, and in some cases it may be you, that you may understand that you have been given falsehood and you've been led in a way that is not right. Peace, Israel, and Yah bless.